So what's up guys, welcome to Tech Times. I'm Atul and this is our first video of comparing stuff. So in this video we are going to compare Raspberry Pi 3 Model B and the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. We are now comparing all those other versions of the Raspberry Pi like the Model B Plus, A Plus, A. We are not comparing any of them. We're comparing the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B versus the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B because Raspberry Pi 4 has only one version which is Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. If the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B Plus, A Plus comes out, we can make a comparison video of that soon. So first, let's start from the CPU. Raspberry Pi 4 has a 4 ARM Cortex A72 64-bit 1.5 GHz quad core and it was released in 2016. But the Raspberry Pi 3 has an ARM Cortex A53. You can see Raspberry Pi 4 has an A72 and this has a 53, which is the lower version, I guess. Raspberry Pi 3 is also 64-bit and 1.2 quad core. But the thing is, I'm not completely sure the Raspberry Pi 4's ARM Cortex A72 released in 2016. I searched on the web. I found this. You can see it says the new ARM Cortex is also a 75% more efficient and it's slated to launch at late 2015 or early 2016. So it must be around 2016. So why did they use a old chip? I don't know. So let's go to the next one, which is GPU. Raspberry Pi 4 has a video core 6, but the Raspberry Pi 3 has a video core 4. I'm sure the Raspberry Pi 3's video core was released in 2014, but the Raspberry Pi 4, I have no idea. But Raspberry Pi's website officially released the full documentation of the video core 6 on 2019. Here's the proof. You can see with Raspberry Pi 4 full specs of video core 6, Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. So here's the proof, but I'm not completely sure it was released. I tried searching, but I didn't get any. So if you find, let me know in the description below. I mean, the comment section below. RAM. Raspberry Pi 4 has three models. One with 1 GB, second with a second 2 GB, and the third with a 4 GB. But the Raspberry Pi 3 has only 1 GB version, has no other GB versions. You can see by the Raspberry Pi 4's price range changes in different RAM versions. For 1 GB, it's cheaper. Second GB, okay, medium. The 4 GB version is expensive. Like next, we can go to the Ethernet. Raspberry Pi 3 has a 10/100, which is low in both read and write speed, download speed. But Raspberry Pi 4 has a gigabyte. Gigabyte is good. Let's go to the USB ports. Raspberry Pi 3 has a 4 USB 2.0 ports. You can see the 2.0, but everything are the same. But the Raspberry Pi 4 has two normal 2.0 ports, and the other two are the USB 3.0, which is better in everything. Everything. Huh? Read, write, download, everything is faster. Let's go to the Wi-Fi. Raspberry Pi 3 has a 802.11 BGN. BGN supports only 2.4 gigawatts. But at the same time, Raspberry Pi 4 supports 802.11 AC dual band. The dual band supports both 2.4 gigawatts and 5 gigawatts. Let's go to the Bluetooth. Raspberry Pi 3 has a Bluetooth 4.1, but the Raspberry Pi 4 has Bluetooth 5. That's good. Bluetooth 5 is a big upgrade. Let's talk about the Windows support. Raspberry Pi 3, yeah, it has Windows. Raspberry Pi 4 also has Windows, but it's not the original Windows, which you know by the big desktops like this, but it has a more compressed version of Windows. Here's the quick home screen of the Windows. This is how it looks. The whole thing just looks like this. You can just search web, go to the terminal, ask or talk to Cortana, and just download one or two apps. That's how you can do it. You can't just download as many as you can with the Windows. You can't download the original Windows apps. No such thing. It's the more compressed version of Windows. You can try that. It's If you want to download this, I will leave a link in the description to the Windows IoT Core website. It's a dashboard app. You have to download it and you have to link your SD card to it, all that stuff. So let's talk about the Linux OS. Raspberry Pi 3 supports Android, Ubuntu, Windows, Kodi, Raspbian, RISC-OS, and many more third-party OS. But Raspberry Pi 4 has Android, Windows, Manjaro OS, Raspbian. I guess that's it. There might be some one or two more third-party OS, but as Raspberry Pi 4 just got released, many people didn't make OS for it yet. Like for Raspberry Pi 4, Raspberry Pi 3 was released in 2017. It has more support. Like there is more than 20 OS you can put in Raspberry Pi 4, Raspberry Pi 3, I guess. But Raspberry Pi 4 just got released, so we need time to make a new OS. So we can wait for that. So let's talk about the operating temperatures. Raspberry Pi 3 can go up to 0 degrees to 45 degrees. But the Raspberry Pi 4 was increased by 5% and now it can go up to 50 degrees. But the both lacks internal storage. Both of them has zero internal storage. They have to depend on a small micro SD card. Yeah. Let's talk about the HDMI and connection. I think this is the last one. Raspberry Pi 3 has an only one normal big size HDMI port. But Raspberry Pi 4 has two micro HDMI port. Not the normal HDMI, not the mini HDMI, the micro, which is the tiny one. Why is that too? You can ask. As Raspberry Pi 4 allows you to have dual monitor setup, just like having two monitors. Yeah. Let's talk about the power. Raspberry Pi 3, if you have a Raspberry Pi 3, you have to power it by using a micro USB, which was old. Like olden phones had micro USB. As Raspberry Pi 4's latest one, it changed to Type C. How cool is Type C? Yeah. So you can see Raspberry Pi 4 has a Type C, two micro HDMI, a aux, uh, two normal 2.0 ports, two 3.0 hertz, a gigabyte Ethernet, 40 GPIO pins. So you can see here is the Raspberry Pi 3's look. I know the clarity is not good, but still I just got this image. It has a micro USB port, a full-size HDMI, the same AUX port, a gigabyte Ethernet. But you can see Raspberry Pi Ethernet is just moved from that side to this side. So Raspberry Pi 4 had an upgrade so that they moved the Ethernet port to the other side. Has four normal USB 2.0 ports, 40 GPIO pins, and that's pretty much it as well in this. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload a new video. Bye.